Good morning. We have just got on the coach, setting off from Wakefield and heading to Skegness.
lifeboat. Oh, I can see the beach.
So as always, if you enjoy this kind of content, please give us a like, a share and a subscribe. Thank you. Hello and welcome back to the channel. For those of you who are new, my name is Emma and I like to buy, resell, collect vintage jewellery, and I also pick up other vintage bits and bobs for resale as well. So today is Saturday morning, so the morning after my trip to Skegness, and it was a good day. It was a hectic day. It was very, very busy. I think I have learnt a valuable lesson about not going to the seaside during the school holidays. I had to navigate screaming kids, mobility scooters, bikes, buggies, you name it. It was just absolutely rammed full of people, and it was a bit of a assault on the senses, if I'm honest. So I don't think I'll be doing that anytime soon. But I did pick up some things for myself and then some things for resale. So as always, I'll go through my personal things first and then I'll go through the resale items. So on myself, I spent the mighty sum of £12 and I picked up 6 items. So first item was this lovely mug. Love a mug. I like to pick up nice big chunky coffee mugs when I see them. This has got a nice pheasant on it. All of our mugs at home are all odds. I love having lots of different mugs to choose from. So yeah, we've got all kinds of different varieties. Got some vintage ones, some nice stoneware ones, but I liked this for the little pheasant design on it, and it was a nice size. So that was £1.49 from Age UK. And then the other cup that I picked up was from one of the hospice shops. There was two. I think it's called Barnabas Hospice, and it's beautiful. I love the pattern. Look at that. So it's like a nice grey blue and then this lovely yellow pattern. Nice floral design, quite autumnal. And it comes with 2 saucers, different sizes. And it is bone china, made in England. Colclough is the brand, so I'm not familiar with that one, but this is for personal anyway. So what I'm going to do with this is turn this into a candle. So I did it a few years ago, and I'll make the candle in the cup, then stand it on the saucers, wrap it all up, and that will be someone's Christmas present. They make really, really nice gifts, as long as these are in good condition. You don't want them if they've got any chips or cracks, because when you do the candle process, the heat can cause the cracks to, split even further, and they might make your cup break. So you've got to have a nice solid cup without any cracks or chips, which this one is. So that's brilliant. And then I've been watching lots of reels and videos where people make things out of vintage tablecloths and vintage bedding, bedspreads, that kind of thing, and they turn them into clothes. So you've probably seen them where they kind of like hold something up and then throw it at the camera, and then the next thing you see is whatever they've made out of it. So this is a beautiful vintage tablecloth. So it's square, and then the pattern on there, someone has individually sewn all these beautiful embroidered all these beautiful flowers on here. So there's the same pattern in every corner, but each corner is a different colour. I thought that was super sweet. And that was only £1.50. So I am going to make something with that. I'm not sure what yet. But yeah, we'll see what my creative juices come up with. And then I've got a couple of clothing items because it's coming up to that time of year where I'm going to pull out all my winter stuff, have a bit of a sort through, see if there's anything that I'm going to get rid of and swap things over. So I like to layer up in the winter to keep warm, and I picked up this lovely blue ribbed jumper, so nice short sleeve, and what I can do with this is wear a long sleeve top underneath it, so layering it up. I love the wide neck on it. I'm not a big fan of anything up and around my neck, so I don't like any jumpers that have got those kind of rolled over necks. I like to have some room to move, I think. So yeah, that's a Marks and Spencer's, and it was on a sale rail for £1. And then the next clothing item I picked up was another winter item, and I usually stay away from mohair. I'm not a big fan of the feel on the skin. It's kind of itchy, scratchy, but it's a cardigan, so I figured I would wear this over something. So again, probably over a long sleeve top, and it's a gorgeous, I love this colour, like a sage green. So it's knitted and it's got a lovely, you might be able to see it a little bit, like a gold thread running through it as well. And it's lovely and soft. And it's a nice button-up cardigan, 3/4 length sleeve. Really nice for the winter, keep me warm, especially if the energy prices are going to be going up again. I think we'll be struggling this winter. I've been upping my direct debit to try and kind of make sure I've got a bit in there for the winter to cover the bills. I don't want it to be a shock, and I don't want to have to choose either as to whether or not I have the heating on. So moving on from the doom and the gloom, this is a top that I got from Sense. So it's just a nice cotton, nice little ruffle sleeve in a slate grey, and again it's got a nice wide neck on it there. I thought this would look nice with some, I've got some grey skinny jeans, so I thought that would look nice with those. And that was £3 from Sense. It's got this lovely, up the back, I thought it was the front at first, but it's not. It's got these lovely buttons going up the back, which I thought was a bit different. So that was it for personal items, and then now I shall show you what I got for resale. So I picked up a few clothing items for resale, vintage. I'm trying to stay away from normal clothing. I decided that that's not something that I enjoy selling, and it takes up a lot of space as well. I've got boxes and boxes of stuff. So this week I went on eBay and I was reducing prices and sending offers out just so I can kind of get all the clothing out of the shop and then focus just on vintage clothing and jewellery. So I picked this up in St Barnabas Hospice. There were two of these shops. There was one on the high street and then one that was a bit of a walk out of town. It's down the street with all B&Bs and holiday lets and things on. It's quite a nice walk. So this is a nice vintage men's t-shirt top. So it's in a nice lemon yellow, and then it's got some lovely orange stitch detail on there, a bit of orange on the collar as well. And it's a size medium, and it's by Gabishi? Not sure, I'll have to look that one up. And it had originally been £4, reduced to £2, and then reduced down to £1. So it was on a sale rail. But yeah, I thought that was quite nice for £1. So that one will go on the eBay store. I do make sure I clean everything before I list it, so I'll probably have to have a day where I pop things in the wash and get things out on the washing line. I then got these vintage pyjamas. I was quite tempted to keep these for myself actually. I wear a lot of pyjamas. So these are a nice cotton, really soft cotton, cream with like a brown dotted line running through them. So they're the bottoms and then the top as well to match. There we go. So that's the pyjama top. and they were £2.50, which I thought was really good, in really good condition to say they're vintage. There's no holes or tears or stains or anything, but again, I'll give them a wash and freshen them up. And then I picked this tie up. I love picking ties up. Ties are really easy to store and easy to sell and post and what have you. So this one is really funky 70s tie, so cream and brown. There's a lot of cream and browns in the 70s, and it's a woven design. So if I hold that up, you might be able to see the pattern. And this was £1.50, which didn't think was too bad. Nothing, not a brand I'm familiar with. It's Lorna Moore, man-made fibre, made in England. So yeah, I might look that little tag up there, see if I can find out a little bit more. And then the last thing I got, if this was my size, probably would have kept it, maybe just for a little bit. But it's really 80s vibes, very funky, very kind of neon colours. And this was on the sale rail as well for £1, which is amazing. And the fabric is like almost like a velvet feel to it. It's lovely. But look at that. So we've got blues and pinks, bit of green in there as well, purples with a black background, and it's got a black lining inside as well. So it is a lady's jacket. There we go, you can see the buttons down the front. So these are metal as well, which I thought was nice. So nice metal golden black buttons. No collar, just a nice round neck. And then it's got these fakey pockets on the front, so they look like a pocket, but they're actually stitched up inside. But yeah, I thought that was real 80s vibes. And that is by Jumo International. And there are no other labels. Someone's cut the label on the inside out. But that was £1, so I thought that was a bargain. Quite a large size, possibly maybe a 16, 18. But what I'll do is I shall measure that and pop the measurements on eBay with the photographs so that people can see and make sure it fits before they buy. But I just loved those colours and the patterns as well. Lovely velvet fabric. And then on to the jewellery, which it was a little bit slim pickings. Didn't find anything super interesting. One little brooch, which I thought was really sweet. And then one item that saved the day. So I shall run through what we picked up. So I've got this nice necklace, which it's quite short, so I think it might fit like a choker. Let's have a look. Yep. So that's quite tight. That sits really nice. It's lovely. And I suspect that these beads might be silver, so I'm going to give them a test. But it's super simple, silver all the way around. It's got these lovely tubular curved beads and then these little round beads. That was £1. Actually, quite a lot of the items that I got were £1. Seemed to be a popular choice. Picked up a couple of rings, nothing, super exciting. Little purple one there. I like the shape of that actually. That's an adjustable one. But it's got like underneath on the metal, it's got a brushed finish to it. As always, I'll pop an image up here, a close-up, so that you can see it in more detail. And then I got this little plastic one, which was an unusual shape. And it's kind of transparent with all these brown swirls inside, like ink. I thought that was funky. Quite a small size, that one. I can't get it past my giant knuckles. Maybe, yeah, little finger it fits. And they were £1 each. And then this was the brooch that I got that I thought was super sweet. And some of the enamelling is missing. You can see where it's chipped off. But I couldn't resist because she's just so cute. Look at that. So she is kind of an Art Deco lady who has a green swimsuit on, and she's kind of diving out into the water, and she's got one of those rubber safety rings around her and some rope around the outside. But I just thought she was beautiful, and for £1 I thought, ooh, even if that doesn't go for resale, and I'll keep that in my own brooch collection. But it does have some writing on the back, and from what I can see, some of it goes under the round bit, so it's difficult. It says Birmingham, it says imitation at the bottom, and I believe it says Stratton and Co, which I have another Stratton brooch that's a bird that's got this enamelled effect. But yeah, I thought she was lovely. So that was £1. Then I got these nice kind of 80s style bold circular earrings. I did think these were clip-ons, but they're not. They're studs. So I'll take those plastic backs off and replace those with some metal butterflies. But I like the design, nice and bold and chunky. They were £1. And then what else did I get that was £1? I picked this up. So this is a bracelet on a chain, so really simple. It's got all these lovely individually cut out leaves. It makes a really delicate jingle jingle sound. I thought that was beautiful. And that looked really nice hanging down on the wrist as well with all those lovely leaves. It's a shame there wasn't a necklace to match. But sometimes I do come across things like later on when I'm looking elsewhere, and then I can pair things up. But yeah, nothing super expensive, but I just like the design of it. And that was £1. And then this bangle, I actually saw this in, I think it was the British Heart Foundation, and they wanted £3.99 for it, which was a bit over budget for me. However, when I went down to that second Barnabas hospice shop, they had this one in their glass cabinet, and this one was £1. So as you can see, it's a nice mixed metal, so there'll be some copper, some brass, some steel in there that's been woven to create this nice design. It's a nice chunky bangle that you can stack with other ones. These tend to sell really well for me. I usually put a little stack together, so I'll pop this with some other slim bangles. So yeah, not bad for £1. In one of the shops, I think there was an animal one, I think it was a dog, some kind of dog's trust or something, and they had this bag of jewellery that's broken. If I hold that up, broken jewellery, £2. But I could see that there's a lot of beads in here, lots of different shapes and sizes and colours, so I can reuse those in some new jewellery designs. So there's some nice kind of bicones in there, there's some nice autumnal colours in there, so I'll be able to use those maybe in some earrings and some bracelets and necklaces. So I plan to upcycle the contents of that one. Then I got this, and it is a key ring. However, I'm going to take the little owl off and I'm going to turn him into a necklace, because I think someone would probably like to wear him as a necklace. But look at that, super cute. So he's pottery, like a little stoneware owl, got a nice glazed finish to him, and he's a key ring. However, I am going to take this off, pop a new jump ring on there, and then pop him on a chain. But I thought he would look really nice as a pendant, maybe for an owl lover or a collector. But yeah, that was £1. And it was with the jewellery, so I spotted it because it was in and amongst the other things. And then in the same shop, I got this beautiful foil glass pendant. So it's a heart, and inside you can just see there it's got some silver and gold foil, and it's been nicely finished off to create this loop at the top. I'm not a fan of the ribbon that it's on, so I'm going to take that off because I think it makes it look a bit cheap, and I'll find something else to string it on. But I thought that was nice. Again, nice design. And that was £1 as well. Everything was really reasonable, to be fair. I think the only pricey stuff that I saw was in the British Heart Foundation, which, let's face it, it's always a bit more spendy in there. This one was from Age UK, so where I got the mug from with the pheasant on. This was in the glass cabinet, so as I was paying for the mug, I spotted this in the glass cabinet. So this was a bit more expensive, £3.99. However, it's a nice long chain, and it's got a nice big bold silver tone pendant. And I love the shape of it. I love anything that's kind of slightly oddly shaped. And then this has got a nice etched leaf design on the front. No maker's mark or anything. Very kind of arts and crafts 70s vibes. So that one will go on the Etsy store, I think. Needs a little clean up, and then I'll be able to photograph it and list it. So that was it for the jewellery. It was, like I say, a bit slim pickings. And the last item that I picked up is in this little box here. And one thing that I would advise is when you are thrifting and you're going around the charity shops is always go around twice. So I go around once and I kind of have a really good scan around the shop, look up at the displays, look in the windows, have a good rummage, and then I go back round and do a second round, and that's just in case I've missed anything. Sometimes you kind of hone in on something and then you miss the other things that are around. So that's exactly what happened with this. This was on the same tray as this little owl, and I spotted the owl and then I didn't bother to look at the other stuff. So when I went round for the second time, I picked this up. So it says H. Samuel on, so that's just a jeweller's, and this was £1. And then inside, don't think these are by H. Samuel. There'll be a different brand, I think. They're absolutely filthy, so I do want to give these a good clean. I'm going to do a cleaning video with my polishing cloths and my apple cider vinegar and the different methods. So these will probably go to one side for that. But look at those. Beautiful sterling silver with a little, I think it's a moonstone that's in the centre there. And I like the design. They've got ear wires, but then they hook at the bottom so that they won't fall out. I'm trying to see if I can hold that up so that you can see. It's a bit tricky. But yeah, they're absolutely grubby. It's quite difficult to tell that they're silver, but on the back, they do have the 925 stamp on there. So I spotted that straight away. So for £1, I thought that was brilliant. And they'll probably go, they're my style actually. These will probably go on the Etsy shop and probably price those around maybe between £15, £20. Once they're all nice and clean and shiny, I'll be able to photograph them. So that was it for the haul. Just one bag full of stuff, which is, you know, that's fine. Didn't spend too much. Let's have a look what I spent actually. So for resale, I spent £20.49, and that was for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 items. So that's not bad. So yeah, I think the earrings kind of saved the day for me. I think up until that point, I was feeling a little bit like I hadn't found anything exciting, and I was a little bit frustrated because it was super, super hot and really, really busy. There were like people everywhere on their holidays, enjoying themselves, which is great, but it was just absolutely rammed. And I found it really, really difficult to get around the streets, get around the shops. There was just, yeah, there was a lot going on. And I think in future, I don't think I'll do a seaside destination in the school holidays because it's just, yeah, too busy for me. So one last thing to show you before I disappear, I nearly forgot. I have my handmade pyjama bottoms on today, so I'm resting after yesterday's shopping, and I just wanted to show you them because they're made from, there they are, look. They're made from that beautiful fabric that I got from the charity shop. I got a big roll of fabric for £5. That's in one of my other videos. And I made myself a nice pair of pyjama bottoms, big chunky elasticated waist, so they're easy to get on. But yeah, I just thought I would show you those. And they're really nice and comfy. I washed the fabric before I made them, and I think I'm going to make another pair as well.